So we are looking at the Algebra 2 Part 1 midterm review. We're going to go over each of these problems. Okay? Anybody have questions about what we're doing? Okay, we're going to do 1 through 16, and then 17 through the rest we're going to do on Tuesday. Okay, so number 1 should be pretty straightforward. I am going to rewrite it, though, on this piece of paper so that it's a little bit easier to see. We're going to go 3x minus 7 equals 6x plus 14. Okay, first thing we're going to do is subtract 3x from both sides. We get negative 7 equals 3x plus 14. Now what am I going to do? Minus 14 from both sides. And I get negative 21 equals 3x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And x equals negative 7. Okay. Now I could have done this a different way. I could have instead subtracted 6x from both sides and done all that. I'm going to cut my cord if I can hear it again. Okay. You could have done it that way and you still would have gotten the same answer. Okay. Either way. All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, we are looking at a set of 2y equals mx plus b. Okay? So, I am going to take number 2. I've got y equals 2x minus 7 and 3x plus 3y equals 6. Who remembers with a system of equations what are the 3 different ways you can do? You could do elimination, substitution, and graphing. The one I dislike the most is graphing. I don't want to graph. It's a pain in the butt. If I have a graphing calculator, I guess it's okay. But I'd rather just do it. In this case, I would use substitution. We already have one all by itself. So I'm going to take 2x minus 3 right here and plug it in for y. So I'm going to get 3x plus 3 times 2x minus 3 equals 6. When
you say minus 3?
3 times 2x minus 3.
2x minus 7.
Equals 6. Now, where's 7 coming from?
Problem.
Oh, it is a 7. Thank you. You have to write the problem down right, otherwise you will get it wrong. Okay. You kept saying 7, and I'm like, I don't understand what is that. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to distribute the 3, and I get 3x plus 6x minus 21 equals 6. 3x and 6x adds together to give us 9x minus 21 equals 6. Now I'm going to add 21 to both sides. Am I going too fast, or are we okay?
Good.
So we have 9x equals 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then we are going to divide by 9, and we get x equals 3. Now I'm going to take this. I would plug it back into this one because it's just faster, because there's only one thing you have to do. You have y equals 2 times 3 minus 7. 2 times 3 is 6, so y equals 6 minus 7, so y equals negative 1. Questions? You could have used elimination method with this. You could use graphing. You will still get the same answer if you do it in a different way.
You have to plug it in.
You do have to plug it back in because you have to find x and y for these. So don't forget to plug it back in. And it'll be, your test will be mostly multiple choice, but there will be like 5 problems that is like write it in the answer, because I'm trying to give you some partial credit for some stuff. So, you know, if this was a written problem and you only did X, you would get half credit for it. Okay? But if it was a multiple choice, hopefully you would see that you had to plug in a y. Mm-hmm.
It's easy for that to know.
Hopefully, because that would be your hint. All right, let's look at number 3. Number 3 is our favorite, right? You guys all freak out because it's a story problem. Okay, Fred's gym charges $25 registration fee and a monthly fee of $50. Jeff's gym charges $35 per month with a $75 registration fee. Write an equation or 2 equations that would represent the situation and make sure to identify your variables. What is the best idea? When is it is a better idea, to join Jeff's gym versus Fred's? Okay, I think this problem leads right to y equals mx plus b. Okay, you can make x equal the months and y equal the total money. Okay, so we're going to take Fred's gym first, and we're going to say y equals, how much does it cost each month to go to Fred's gym? 50. So it's 50x, because each month is more, plus the registration fee, which is 25. And then we've got Jeff's gym, which is 35x plus 75. Okay? So those are our 2 equations. So that's our start. Now we want to know when it's a better idea to go to Jeff's gym versus Fred's gym. Okay? Jeff's gym costs more money for the registration fee, but the monthly fee is less. So after so many months, it will be better to do that one. Okay? So we're going to set them equal to each other. No. We're going to set them equal to each other and see when they come out even. And whatever month that is, the month after that, fine, is what we will need to do. Okay? So we're going to say 50x plus 25 equals 35x plus 75. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides. 35, 45, so it's 15x plus 25 equals 75. I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. And I get 15x equals 50. And then I divide both sides by 15. And I get x equals like 3 point something, right? It's like 3.3. So after 3 months, the 4th month, Jeff's is better. Okay, what that means is if you're going somewhere, like I have a friend right now who gets contract jobs, so sometimes he has to he works 4 days a week in New York for 3 months. And then his contract's up and he might be somewhere else. So if you're doing something like that where it's 3 months or less, you want to get Fred's gym. But if you are going to be somewhere for a year or more, or anything more than 3 months, so if you're going to be somewhere for 4 months, you want to go with Jeff's gym because it's going to end up being cheaper overall. A little bit of money you save, that might be money that you can spend on something else later. Right? Okay, number 4. If someone has a total of 27 dimes and nickels in their pocket, and they tell you that the total value of dimes and nickels is $2.05, how many of each type of coin does this person have? Okay, so I'm going to make N equal to nickels, D equal to dimes, and I'm going to say nickels plus dimes equals 27. And then my other equation is going to be with money. This is just the total number of coins. Then I'm going to deal with money, and I'm going to go 0.05N plus 0.10D equals $2.05. Okay, then I feel like this problem in particular is set up really well to use, instead of substitution, because that's what we used for the last one, is doing this by elimination. What I am going to do is I'm going to top the top one by negative 0.5, but you could have multiplied it by negative 10. So I'm going to get negative 0.05n minus 0.05d equals negative 1.35. And then I'm going to add it straight down to 0.05n plus 0.10d equals 2.05. When you add straight down, the nickels disappear. That's why we call it elimination method. And I'm going to be left with 0.05d equals $2.05 minus $1.35. I get 70 cents. Okay, 0.070. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.05. And I get the number of dimes is 14. And then 14 plus n equals 27, so my number of nickels equals 13. 14 dimes, 13 nickels. Questions about that? Okay. We've done those two elimination problems. We've got one more here before we do some slope stuff. Okay, so here's my lovely story problem for number 5. How many months would it take you to pay off a $350 cell phone bill that you bought if you had to pay back a rate of $40 per month? So here's number 5. How long would it take you to pay off a $350 cell phone bill if you had to pay it back for $40 per month? So $40 per month. How long would it take you to get $350? Okay, this is not a y equals mx plus b one. This is just a straight problem. Because we're just going to divide both sides by 40. And what do we get, guys? No one? I get 8.75. But there's not 0.75 of a month, right? So I would say 9 months. And divided both sides by 40 and got x equals 8.75.
Would we get marked out? Or what if we did like 8 3/4 or something of a month? Or
So it's going to be multiple choice for most of these.
Okay.
So hopefully there won't be that one. But you can't have 8 3/4 of a month, right? Like, that's really important for bills. Like, as an adult, you're never going to have a bill where you can pay a quarter of a month the way through. Or you can't be like, I don't have enough money, so I'm going to only pay half a month. It doesn't work like that. It's a whole month or not. Okay. Ready? We're going to do number 6. Okay, we've done a lot of story problems here and some elimination and elimination method and some substitution method. Questions about any of this before I move on to some slope stuff? I did number 4, but I can put it back up. Number 4, I've got nickels and dimes equals 27 coins. I've got 5 cents for a nickel and 10 cents for a dime equals $2.05. So I multiplied this top equation right here by negative 0.05. That I added straight down, giving me 0.5 dimes equals 0.7 cents, or 70 cents. Divided both sides by 0.5 and got there are 14 dimes. Plugged it back into this original equation up here and got nickels plus 14 equals 27, so there has to be 13 nickels. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 6. Number 6, I've got these points, and I need to find the slope. I've got 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay. I'm going to make this x1, y1, this x2, y2. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the slope formula. Remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's 8 minus 4 over 5 minus 3, which gives me 4 over 2, which gives me 2. And it just asks you for the slope, right? Not the equation. Find the slope of the line. Yep. Okay. Any questions about slope or that part yet? Aaron, if it's done, let me see it so I can put it in, please. Okay, we're going to look at number 7 then. Verse 16. Okay, thank you. Okay, so number 7 gives us a table, right? And asks us to find the slope and the y-intercept. So we're just going to find the whole equation. So for 7, we've got 2 comma 3 and 3 comma negative 1. So we're going to go y2, negative 1, minus y1, 3, all over x2, 3, minus x1, 2. Now, I just picked points on the table. Those were just the points I picked. You could have picked any 2 points.
So you just picked like the first two?
Yeah, but if you picked the last 2 or whatever.
X1, Y1, X2.
Yep,
Okay, and then you just do the same.
yep. And I get negative 4 over 1 is my slope. And then I'm going to plug it in. You guys remember this equation? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's the point slope formula. And I've got a slope and a point already. So it's easiest to put it in this one. So I have y minus 3 equals negative 4 times x minus 2. Unfortunately, I cannot leave it like that because I have to find the y-intercept for this. In order to find the y-intercept, I have to distribute and all of that. So I'm going to distribute my negative 4. That ends up giving me y minus 3 equals negative 4x plus 8. And then you're just going to have to add that 3 to the other side. So I get y equals negative 4x plus 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 11.
So you'll use the y2 minus y1.
I did that for here. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That gives me my slope.
Which we have to do.
And then I had to plug it in. Yeah.
And then you have to plug it in and then the y minus y1 is n.
Times x
Is
minus
that
x1.
going to be
Yeah.
on the, is the y minus y?
Yeah, I'll put it on the board or it'll be on your formula sheet or whatever I give you. Okay? All right. Let's look at 8. 8 said, what is the y-intercept of a line that passes through negative 2 and passes through this point? Okay? So I'm going to get a new piece of paper. I've run out of room. Maybe. Here we go.
So,
You want me to put that one back up?
yeah,
Okay. Number 7.
it says y minus y1.
Y1 and x1, they're a point. So I took this point right here, 3 and negative 1, and plugged it in for x1, y1.
But what's just, is that just y?
Yep, and then y stays by itself. And you're going to solve for it.
It's not,
Yep. Okay, we're going to look at number 8. All right, number 8. We've got, this is my slope, so this is my negative 2. This is my point, negative 2, 3. So that's my x1, y1. And I'm going to just plug this in. Y minus y1, which is 3, equals the slope, negative 2, times x minus x1. Okay? 2 negatives make this a positive. I'm going to distribute. Y minus 3 equals negative 2x minus 4. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Y equals negative 2x minus 1. So we have our slope and our y-intercept there.
Distributing from the line numbers to be the same, and then equals C plus 4 plus.
3 to the other side.
So it's the same thing as
Then you just combine like terms, and this is my slope, this is m, that's my y-intercept or my b.
it's the same thing as 7, just put it
Yeah.
a slope.
Yeah.
Instead, that's all we get for 7 is found the slope
Yep.
first.
Yep. Otherwise, they're the same. All right, you ready for number 9? If you work at Myers shuffling carts and they pay you $8 a day, which linear function would model how much you make during the course of a day? E represents how much you earn. H is the number of hours you work. Which one is it? A, E equals H plus 8. The number of hours you work plus 8 is how much you earn. B, E equals 8H. You earn $8 times the number of hours.
That's cool.
C, E equals H over 8. You earn the number of hours divided by 8. Or D, you earn 8 minus the number of hours. Which one is it? A, B, C, D, or E? Yes, it's B. Okay. Would negative numbers make sense for E? Why or why not? Could you ever earn negative money?
No.
No. This one wouldn't make sense. Now, the only way it could make sense, I'm just going to answer this out loud instead of writing this all down. What if so you wouldn't owe your job debt though, right? Because this is just talking about debt. So here's the only situation. Let's say for your job, you had to buy your own uniform. So let's say your uniform was $24. The first day you worked was just training, so you only worked an hour.
-2.
So now you still owe $16. Okay, so that would be the only time it would be negative. Okay, sometimes things like if you cut hair for a living at a barbershop or a beauty salon, you have to pay for your chair and everything like that. Like you pay a certain fee each month for that section. So let's say you didn't get enough people to cut their hair to pay your section. That might be a negative reason. Who's Murphy speaking? He is not in my room. He is. Yes. Sure. Hi. Cameron, Miss Baker wants to speak to you. Okay. All right. So, would it ever make sense to have a negative H? So we talked about how you could get a negative E. There's very few situations. Could you ever have a negative H?
Yes.
When?
What did you call it all? What do you got paid like salary or something? And you got sick? And like you're wait no. So you're still hot.
So the issue here, like you can't work negative hours. I guess maybe if when you started your job, I can't even figure that out. Like vacation time, but you still don't work. That's still not negative hours. It's still 0. That still would be the amount of money then. That wouldn't be negative hours. That would be negative E.
Okay, so say you had to work 40 and 40 is like your line.
Yeah.
Okay, 40 is the X, okay?
Right.
And then you called off one day, so now you're at 32 hours. So you're below X.
It's still not negative hours. It's negative time. There's no such thing as negative time. If you think of negative time as you can't go back in time or whatever, there's no negative time. When they invent time travel, I will be the first one that comes. But it hasn't happened yet. What are you listening to that's so loud I can hear it up here? Okay, it's very quiet in this room. We can hear you. Knock it off. All right, we're going to look at number 11. See, I know you guys complain a lot that a lot of the stuff we do in math class you're never going to use in real life. All of those story problems you will use someday in real life. Mary and Jeff both have jobs at their local baseball park selling programs. They get $10 per game plus 0.25 cents for each program they sell. We're going to write an equation that represents the amount and relates the number of programs sold P with their earnings E. Okay. So, if E equals earnings, so I'm going to set E equals there. How much do they get per program again?
25.
So 0.25P plus, what if they sold no programs? How much would they end up getting, no matter what, each game?
$10.
$10. Okay, so that is our equation. Earnings equals 25 cents times P plus 10. Now, if you have $10 plus 0.25P, that's the same thing. Same thing. Okay? Using this equation, how much money would Mary earn if she sold 23 programs? So what are we going to plug 23 into? P. So we're going to say for B, we're going to say E equals 0.25 times 23 plus 10, which is what? I don't remember.
$15.
So Josh's guess is $15.
15 point something.
I found, this is number 10.
15 point something.
It's number 11. 15.75 is
Is it
correct.
really?
15.75. Okay, part C. C says on here for number 11. C says if Jeff made $23.75, so that goes in for his earnings, correct? How many programs did he sell? So we plug that into E, correct? That's what I'm doing right there. Plug it in through E. And then you're going to have to like subtract 10 from both sides. And we get 13.75 equals 0.25P. And then we're going to divide both sides by 0.25. And then P is going to equal what? You got a guess, Josh?
Wait. Oh my goodness. You have like a brain fart.
It's hard. How many quarters go into 13.75? So how many quarters are in a dollar?
52. So there's 52.
And then,
Okay, so
3 more.
55.
yep,
Okay.
perfect.
All right, that easy.
I like that mental math. It's nice. Yeah. It's okay. All right, we're gonna go to number 12. Got so many story problems here. Number 12, Jamel and Tanya Gunner work at a day camp for young children. Tanya is a coordinator with several young years of experience, so she earns $10.75 per hour. This is Jamel's first year on the job, so he earns $7.50 per mile. Write an equation that represents how much Jamel and Tanya make in terms of how many hours they work. Okay, so Tanya, I'm going to put as T. Tanya earns how much? 10.75, and we'll say X. Okay, so Y equals 10.75X. That's for Tanya. For Jamel, he earns 7.5X. Oop, you guys can't see any of what I've made. Okay. Use the equation to determine when they will both earn the same amount of money. So we set them equal to each other. 10.75 equals X equals 7.50X. And I know that looks crazy, but that is how we do it. So instead of, you don't have a y equals, you have 10.75x equals 7.5x. They're both equal to y, so you just set them equal to each other. Okay? So then we're going to subtract 750 from both sides. Is it 2.25 or 3.25? 5, 7 minus 2. 3.25 equals x equals 0. And then we divide this by 0. So how many hours will they earn the same amount? Sorry. It's 0 hours. Because they only can earn the same amount of money if they're both not working. So 0 hours. Does that make sense? And then I did 3.25 divided by 0 to get x by itself,
Sounds like a
which gave me
common
0.
sense question.
It is kind of a common sense question. No. 3.25x equals 0. You divide both these sides by x, and you get x equals 0. Okay, I didn't finish this one, so you got to help me with this part, guys. This is part C. If Jeff made, oh no, where am I? What patterns of change would you expect to see in a table of values of each of these equations? So if we're seeing, this is Tanya's table and this is Jamel's table, we'd see after 0 hours, they're both like this. 1 hour, Tanya's at 10.75, Jamel's at 7.5, right? And then it would just go up each hour, right? That's how the tables would look. They're going hour. How would the graphs different? Hers is much like, if we were looking at a graph, hers is going like this, his is going like this. Hers is going faster, right? Because she's making more money quicker. All right, you ready to go to 13?
Yes.
Okay. These are pretty simple variable problems. Okay. So for 13a, we've got, this is 13a, 2x minus 7 equals 4, so we add 7 to both sides, good. 7 plus 4 is 11. Oh, it's negative 4, I'm sorry, you're right, it's positive 3. And then divide both sides by 2, x equals 1.5 or 3 over 2. You can leave it either way. Okay. B, 3 minus 6x equals 2x plus 7. We're going to add 6x to both sides. You can subtract 2x instead, but I like to get rid of the negatives. So I get 3 equals 8x plus 7. Subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 4 equals 8x. Divide both sides by 8. X equals negative 1/2 or negative 0.5. Either way. Okay. C, we've got 4 parentheses t minus 7 equals 3 minus t plus 1. Okay, parentheses mean we're going to distribute. So we get 4t minus 7 times 4 is 28 equals 3 minus t minus 1. I can combine 3 and negative 1 together because they are like terms. So I get 4t minus 28 equals 2 minus t. I'm going to get all the t's on one side, so I'm going to add t to both sides. So I get 5t minus 28 equals 2. I'm going to add 28 to both sides. I get 5t equals 30. I divide both sides by 5, and so t equals 6. Questions? All right, let's go to 14 then. Yeah. Yeah, I got to keep going though, honey. I'm in the middle of recording this, and we need to get 14, 15, and 16 done. So I am just going to show the answers for 14 because there's so many of them. If you want me to do one of them, I can, but I'm just going to show you the ones that I got, and then any that you want me to do, I will do. Okay. 14, we've got 2 minus y equals x, and x plus 2y equals 4. So I did substitution or elimination. I can't remember what I did. But anyways, I got 0 and 2. For B, I need this paper in front of me. For B, I ended up getting x equals 3 and y equals 8. And I used substitution for b. C, I used elimination, and I got m is negative 3, and n is 19 over 4, I think is what I end up getting. And then D, I got E is 3, and F is 4, and I used elimination method. And then for part E, oh, did I not do part E? A, B, C, D. I must have not done E. Well, we can do E real fast. We've got E is negative 8R plus 3S equals 10. And we've got 10R minus 2S equals negative 2. This is one of those cases where I would use elimination method, but you're going to have to multiply the top and bottom by something. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would multiply this one by 10 and this one by negative 8. And then I get negative 80R plus 30S equals 100. And I would get negative 80R, by positive 8. I get positive 80R minus, what's 25 plus 8? 25 times 8, I mean?
20.
Is it 200?
Oh,
Yeah, 8 times 25 is 200?
Yeah, should be.
Okay. I'm double checking. It's not that I doubt you. I'm just want to
What
make sure.
quarters is it on?
Oh, that's not 25. That's 2S. Because I can't read my own writing. So that's much easier. That's 16S. Wow. Equals negative 16. So 100 minus 16 is 84. So that's how I get 84 here. And then 30 minus 16 gives me 14S. And then 84 divided by 14 gives me 6. So S equals 6. And then I just have to plug it back in. So I get negative 8R plus 3 times 6 equals 10. 3 times 6 is 18. 10 minus 18 is negative 8. So R equals 1. Yeah. Number 15. We're going to go back to some slope stuff. So 15 says, has a slope of 3 and passes through negative 3, 2. So that's why I'm putting it back into this point slope form. Y minus 2 equals the slope 3 times x minus a negative 3. And I just took a negative and made it a positive. And then I got y minus 2 equals 3x plus 9. Added 2 to both sides, and y equals 3x plus 11. Part B is I've got 2 points, 0, 3, and negative 2, 5. And I plugged them in and found the slope was negative 1. Then I plugged it into point slope form, and I found that my equation, you could have left it as y minus 3 equals negative 1 times x minus 0. That would have been fine. Or you could solve it for y equals negative 1x plus 3. Either one of these, the top or bottom, are fine. C, I got y equals 13 over 12x plus 1/3. D, I got y equals negative 3 halves x plus 11 halves. Okay. And then E, I needed to find parallel and perpendicular. Okay. So I've got points, negative 2, negative 9, and I need to find parallel. Parallel means it has the same slope. So it was talking about 4, that's the same slope. So I just plug it into point slope form, making sure they match. So y plus 9 equals 4 times x plus 2. And then I can solve for slope intercept form, because that's what it asked me to do. So I distribute, I subtract. Okay? And then I need to find a slope that is perpendicular. That means opposite reciprocal. That's how I got negative 1/4 here. So my answer should be y equals negative 1/4 x minus 19 halves. Now I'm going to do the same here with 2x minus 5y equals 10, but I'm going to first put it in slope intercept form. and I get y equals 2/5 x minus 2. And then I'm going to plug it in for parallel, and I get y equals 2/5 x minus 41/5. And over here I get y equals negative 5/2 x plus 1/2. Okay. Let's look at 16. 16a, again, I've got tables for all of these, so I just find the slope and put it into point slope form and find slope intercept form. So I get y equals 4x plus 7 for A. B, I get y equals 1/3 x minus 3. C, I get y equals 2x plus 23. And D, I get y equals negative 1x plus 3. Okay, so that was 1 through 16. I did all of those. Some of them I did, some of them I just read you guys the answers, but we did go through all of them. And so they are all up on my website.